Searching podcasts for Dave, and one more time.
And 3.
Number 2.
Follow that up with a 1.
And follow that up with woohoo!
America has Hurricane Beryl.
Barrels down on you.
Sets its sights on the Dave and Juan studios. We'll see what happens there. But hey, as always, you're
welcome.
Welcome. And as I alluded to, hi, everybody. How are you? I'm Dave.
I'm Juan.
And this is Dave and Juan.
More time.
That's right. Thank you. Time stamping it. This one's going to be as close to a 24-hour turnaround as we ever get. Doing this on a Sunday evening, as I just got back from church a little while ago. So
I went to church a long time ago. Then I had to go visit my dad.
We would have normally gone because we have a what appears to be what will be a hurricane bearing down in a little bit. I'll show you there. That's what I'm looking at right now there, Juan. That little blue dot represents the Dave and Juan
Studio One.
Studio One, and that is I think it may have just crossed back into hurricane, but Tropical Storm Beryl. Heading this way, but spent the day getting ready for oh, by the way, before we get 5 minutes into this, hey, let's just say debate.
Right. Yeah. I don't even know why we didn't promise to get into it early or anything last week, but I had a couple critical comments.
We'll get back into it. Yeah,
we'll get to get into the debate.
Correct.
And it was I watched for 5 minutes and I was out.
That's right. And 5 minutes and 5 seconds into it, I think we started talking debate. But that's what, and we will touch on a few things since then. But no, today was a hurricane prep day here.
Those are never fun, and the only thing worse than hurricane prep day is when you got to put all the stuff back.
But you are correct.
Hopefully you got places to put it.
You hope that you did a lot of stuff for no good reason. I mean, I'm outside taking decorations off the walls, metal signs off, bringing in the outdoor TV. My wife and I were sort of cross with each other. I wasn't cross with her. She was cross with me. Because
it was her fault.
Yeah, it was my fault, I guess. But about what, just defining what's a possible projectile, or projectile. I don't know how you would.
Projectile, I don't know. Yeah, we used to have a trampoline. And that was always the nightmare.
That's terrible. We did as well.
Flip it over and then weight it down. And what do I weight it down with that can't blow away?
I used to tie ours to the tree. It was not far from a tree, and I would just, tie it to the tree and think that's about as redneck as it gets too.
Yeah, we had one of those little concrete benches. I don't know why, but I would flip the trampoline over and then set the pieces of the concrete bench on top of the trampoline.
So we have all these potted plants, and I'm just like, put them up against the eye. So I was, and then my wife is very, very concerned to pull in. We have a lot of outdoor furniture, and she wants to bring in the cushions. I'm like, I don't think that's a problem. Like, if you made a list of what kind of stuff might fly around that you're not that worried about, I'm gonna guess the sofa cushion's not,
take a pad.
If you polled the neighbors, hey, what would you rather come flying at you? But eventually got
I think
that
the problem
stuff
is
in.
always you put all the stuff in your garage, and then you got no room for your car in your garage.
Well, and now my neighbor is out of. Well, he's not in his house right now because he's the one that we told you about. He had a toilet back up and he's getting a whole new first
getting
floor.
A little insurance money.
So he's saying, he's staying somewhere in Houston right now, and he was there, and he offered up his garage as well. So we got one of our vehicles and some of our stuff in his garage, and it makes me realize if I didn't live in an HOA, if I didn't, if I had place around here, and I would design a different. I would have a barn just for stuff. That's the hurricane barn.
Yeah.
But so
We used to, this is years ago, and I worked at a hospital, and it had like a 5 or 6 story concrete parking garage. And you'd see like some of the used car dealers would come park their cars in the interior part of the
sure,
garage,
try to get off
and
of out of
getting it off the ground, and
flooding, possible
yeah,
hail, I guess. Yeah,
yeah, but
hope
all
they
the
don't.
concrete's, not much is gonna fly through there. They're not on the edge, they're inside, and there's
You
no
can
other
get a good wind
cars.
tunnel going in there, though.
Yeah.
We are probably 12 hours away or less than 12 hours from starting to see the got the generator
All
pulled
right,
it
got it
out,
fired up.
connected the tank, make sure, ran it for about 5 minutes. All right. And because that's the thing, because my wife wasn't giving me grief, but I guess what she had other priorities. I mean, I spent, and the other fun thing about hurricane prep, as always, usually like today, it's about 90, low 90s and low 90s humidity. I mean, drenched, just soak through your clothes trying to get stuff ready.
Yeah, you
Because
never get to do hurricane prep on a nice fall day.
no, 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 no. And then you got to think. Well, what I do is like that's the down to buy in. The older I get, I'm into staging because I realize, okay, if I need this generator, it's gonna. There's no power. I
All
can't.
right.
I don't want to have to go fight with my garage door, which will not have any power. I got to have it on this side of the car. Got to have tanks ready to go. I don't think I would do it. And consolidate the frozen food into one freezer, right? So you only have to, it's like the logistics. I just want to have to run one freezer. Uh, Go find the window unit. Got a little window unit on standby. We got a big old house, but if need be, everybody huddles in the
Hey,
living room.
one room, man. That's all you need. Better than none.
Yeah, a little window unit with a fan blowing, but so we shall see. So I wish everybody luck, and again, by the time this airs, hopefully
It'll be over. Somebody else will
we'll
be
see.
getting it.
I can get yes, we'll try to get this thing done tonight and shuffled up to the cloud before the internet goes down at Studio One.
Yeah, Studio 2 is in good condition. I don't think we're getting much anything.
Yeah, because I don't think I'm going to try to upload a near 1 hour podcast on cellular. Not that that's cost the same. It just takes forever.
I've tried to upload it to YouTube on a hotspot.
It takes a minute.
It's quite long to do.
It takes a minute. I told you we got AT&T the fiber, I
Fiber.
guess, fiber optic. I hate to tell you. Well, I don't hate to tell you, but they're not a sponsor. We're not endorsing, but man, I'm not just saying AT fiber. Fiber is a major upgrade. All right, now that's a
Oh yeah, look,
well.
I've got it.
Yeah,
And yeah, I'm not a fan of AT&T, but dude,
you
I
didn't think
love
you were
me some
slow,
fiber.
but they came. We had another crew out here the other day in my front yard, putting down more fiber. I was like, wait a minute. Well, the AT&T was here 2 months ago, putting it in. No, different company. So now we're going to have fiber competing.
That's good.
Well, I guess it's good. The downside is it just reminds you that the city has the right of way, the
Yes,
covenants,
half your
whatever.
yard.
Yeah, we come and drill in you. Well, they did it on the other side, the sidewalk, right? Right. So you have your yard, the sidewalk, and then another
Yeah,
section
between the
before.
sidewalk and the street is
Right.
basically servitude.
So they basically tell you, hey, we can do whatever we want with that. Okay, great. But hey, if I stop mowing that, watch the letter I'm gonna get.
Exactly.
Say, hang on now. This is
You
America.
can't send anybody an invoice for having done the upkeep on their section of your yard.
Yeah, yeah. But so here now, battening down, got everything. One of those go to bed, just waiting for the power to go out because you just know the power is going to go
But I
out.
don't think your fiber will go out, man. I think
Still
plug
need
that TV.
Still need the electricity.
Yeah, but plug your TV into the generator, and you could plug you could plug your router in as well, and you'll still have it.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Well, my hope
I
is not
called
to
this was
be.
years ago, and I had fiber through a different company when I lived in Prairieville. And I called them as a hurricane was approaching, and I said, "This is the most selfish question anybody will ever call here and ask. But if I lose power and plug my router into my generator, can I watch some TV?" And they said, "Yeah."
My neighbor that lent me his garage just texted me. That's what I was reading. Apparently, Amazon delivered today. So
Oh, so now you got to go pick up his
he's
package.
asking if the weather lets up, if I can go do it for him. I guess since he's let me use his garage, I guess I can be nice
check
enough
on
to
your
go
car.
to go do that that stuff. But apparently, the Houston networks are not terrified yet of this hurricane that will be on us, because a while ago, right before it came on, I pulled up on my phone. I got the Hulu app, and pulled up
Mm-hmm.
local stations, and they had America's Funniest Home Videos on. I'm like, well, so apparently it's important that we
Sunday
get
night,
us
they're running with a skeleton crew.
some Alfonso or Alonzo, whatever that guy is. I didn't know. One, I didn't know America's Funniest Home Videos was still.
How is that show still on?
It's still on, and it's hosted by
Yeah,
what's his
that dude
face?
does a lot of stuff.
What's his name? Alonzo?
I don't
Alfonso.
know. Yeah. That's
Carlton.
the one who was from the
Carlton from
the Fresh
Fresh
Prince.
Prince.
Yeah, he's got game shows, man.
Still gainfully employed. Well, good,
Yeah.
good. There was another game show on. You're right. There was something else I saw. So it's one of those things. Houston TV station thing. I don't know, man. Look. People need their America's Funniest Home Videos. Don't be take. And it's always we've talked about this before with hurricanes, and we've been missed for a bit, but Louisiana had a bad stretch. But was the Weather
Hurricane
Channel.
Ida we had a couple years ago. That was
we didn't even
only
release
only one of two times we've taken a week off.
Yeah, we did that because of that was just
respect.
rough, and hopefully it's nothing like that. But and I know they do it why they do it, but the Weather Channel and AccuWeather and all these, I get so tired of people cheering for the hurricanes. I know they don't think they're doing that.
Breaking news.
I don't know that they know they're doing that or intend to be doing that.
We've seen it. We've seen it in New Orleans where you've got guys, standing in a puddle that's knee deep, acting like it's flooding, and then you got guys walking, on the other side of the street like it's nothing, or acting like the wind is, they're holding on to a sign because the wind's going to blow them down, and people are just passing behind them.
Well, today they were talking about the intensification, and it probably will. This thing Beryl, which was interesting because it was the earliest apparently Cat 5 hurricane.
I think it's a pretty wet storm, is what I've
on record. Well, they all kind of are, but even when they were saying this about a week ago, which we weren't even worried about. This thing was supposed to go into either Mexico or the border of Mexico and Texas, and now that dang thing, it's coming to Houston. It may skirt us, but it's Houston's going to be definitely impacted. But I don't believe any of them anymore. It's the earliest Cat 5 on record. And I'm like, whose record? Okay, who's?
We had some friends who were down, I don't know, wherever it went, Bahamas or somewhere down there. And they were there last week, and I guess this week, like 4th of July week, and they had to evacuate. They took everybody out like 2 days after they got there.
Well, I mean, Cat 5, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta. That's just insanity to stay. But again, you gotta have a place to go. You're on an island. I'm sorry.
Right. Right. That's the thing. Better get out there now.
But so that, but they're watching. I'm watching this afternoon a little bit of the coverage, and I guess they had expected it or thought it might start intensifying a little earlier, and it hadn't yet. It hadn't at the time. This is probably 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It hadn't yet started to intensify again, but they were talking like, well, it wants to. It's showing some progress. It's. I'm sitting there going, exactly.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it.
I know it's total, just mind games to even think that has any effect on it. But I'm sitting there thinking, did you? cheering on, come on, Hurricane, you can do it. You
And I
can
guess
do
that's
it.
what they, it's probably their deal. The storm chaser mentality.
Well, fear sells, and they
Mhm.
gotta they have to keep you fear. But
Yeah,
I
because
actually I
when else
text.
is anybody glued to the Weather Channel?
That's right. True that. True that. Well, that's why they keep creating new weather emergencies, and that's why they started naming winter storms,
Yeah.
because they realized, oh, when you name a storm, people start paying attention because they want to track that storm. So if you
Mhm.
just now they just name a winter storm.
Yeah, Superstorm Bob.
Oh, jeez, jeez. Speaking of Bob, I miss Bob Breck. That's the guy. I
He
wish.
does the I don't know if he does a podcast, but he's still on social media.
Okay. Yeah, no, I miss Bob. Bob was the guy you wanted. You're in South Louisiana, and there's a
Yeah, after
storm in the Gulf.
Nash retired, you went to Bob.
You go to Bob because Bob wasn't cheering for the hurricane, right? Bob was almost always wishing it away. Like where other people would say, "Oh, it could do this and it might do this," and granted, you want to be prepared. I got you, but Bob would be the one saying, "I don't know, I guess they could." He was always, because at the end of the day, some again, why they can't tell me where a hurricane is going 3 days in advance,
Yeah.
but they damn sure can tell me what the temperature of this planet's going to be,
And 10 years.
Or apparently we had some record or close to record highs across the United States this past week. It's called high pressure systems, y'all. It
Yeah.
happens over the course of time. It happens. You have droughts periodically. You have it's weather, and they're going crazy with, oh, this high, or it's going to be close. That's my favorite. Is it's threatening to be the high, and then
Yeah,
and
what's going yeah, so if it makes the high, what's the threat?
it's always threatening a record from 60 years ago or 40, right?
Yeah,
So
look, man, here's this hot in the summer.
a little bit. But so there we are. Just a generator. Hopefully, don't need it, but we'll see. What else was the other? The generator. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Okay. That was my hurricane.
Well, here, man, I got a total side note. I got some good news for you and for everybody. This is breaking news. So, we could, if we had some breaking news music, we could drop this in.
We'll try to find it.
I got a little friend that works for Coca Cola. And he takes pride on letting me know when they got new flavors coming out.
Breaking news from Juan on the Coca Cola front.
So in October, new Coca Cola flavor.
A new Coca Cola flavor coming in October.
Coke Oreo.
Coke
Coke and
Oreo.
Oreo combined. Sounds
Interesting.
like the most disgusting thing ever.
And for those of you who drink a Coke and think, we could make this a little sweeter.
All right.
I don't think both sides of my jaw locked up.
Yeah. That's,
Coke Oreo. Okay.
I don't know. But I've talked about him before. I go to church with him and he volunteers. He's from Venezuela.
Oh, I gotcha.
And so he was telling me this the other night. We both worked at church. And I said, dude, you can't tell me that like they got some new flavor and not tell me what it's going to be. I said, I'll keep it to myself. Just let me know.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Dave and Juan breaking news for you.
Right.
Juan, our intrepid reporter, Juan Semino, out in the field. Coke Oreo.
So it was on the day before the 4th of July that we both worked at church. And so I asked him again, he's an immigrant from Venezuela. He's here legally, not a citizen yet. But I said, all right, you're going to be celebrating 4th of July tomorrow, right? And he said, yeah. And he said, the funny thing is, though, Venezuela's Independence Day is the next day.
Independent from?
Yeah, but I don't know. Whoever.
Were they England? Did I send?
I don't know.
Did I send you that? There was a meme, and it's actually not a meme. It was somebody posted it. I thought I sent you this. So Venezuela's
yeah, whatever their I guess equivalent to that is. He said it's celebrated on July 5th.
Yeah, this one said it's so defeating the British is not just an American pastime. It says roughly every 6 days in the world, a country celebrates its independence from Britain.
From Britain.
Britain
Wow.
was Britain colonized. That was You can say what you want about America because we've done some horrible things, but Great
Britain
Britain,
owned everybody.
woo, it says it's the most widely celebrated holiday in the world. Let's see, Jamaica, Belize. These are all okay. These were all. I'm looking on a map, so it's hard to see. These were all British colonies: Canada, USA, Jamaica, Belize, Antigua and Barbuda, Saint Kitts and Saint Lucia, Saint Vincent and the Grenadines, Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, Grenada, Dominica, the Bahamas, Ireland. I don't see. Where's Venezuela, Australia, New Zealand. It's a lot. England.
Yeah, Australia is where they used to send all the criminals.
And isn't it funny that everybody's reversing that now, sending all the criminals here?
Send them here. That's a lie.
Yeah, that's a lie. Well, we're gonna talk. Yeah, we'll talk about that. You were talking about Oreos. I saw something. So we were in Thibodeau for a few days. We were there on the 4th of July, and yeah, I'm doing my obligatory. I'm trying to get 6 months worth of work or repairs or fix it stuff done in the 2 or 3 days I'm there. But my niece, you see people doing stuff sometimes. You think, oh man, enjoy youth. Enjoy yourself when you can do stuff that if you and I did it. So she's in the kitchen. We're talking, a bunch of people around, and she's got a coffee cup, fills it with milk, and they like vanilla Oreos.
Yeah, that's the waste.
You making a face, man? Vanilla Oreos are good. I mean, they're not quite, and she's floating them in the milk, and then with a spoon, kind of tapping it down until that Oreo is just almost not floating anymore because it's so. And then just eating a milk-soaked Oreo with the spoon. I don't know how many of those she knocked back. I was just looking to say, hey, are you doing what I think you're doing? Yeah, I just like them this way. Like, gosh, darn it. Probably got 3% body fat. Like, man, go do. Yeah, enjoy that. Enjoy that while you can. I'm that way when I see.
The other day, I saw a guy stand on a stool and then just step off of it.
Man, I don't know that I can do I guess I'm lucky right now. My knees, but they're not. It's cyclical, I guess. So I haven't found myself being conscious of my knees.
Yeah,
and that's how
I wouldn't step off a stool, though, man.
Well, I don't know that I would do it without my obligatory.
See, I'd be scared to jump. I'd be worried that the knee would give out.
I don't even need. So sometimes it's because I'm in pain, but even when I'm not in pain, it's my preparatory grunts.
Yeah.
It's like preparing my body to okay, I'm going to do this. While I was in Thibodeau, I changed both one in Homa and one in Thibodeau, changed some motion lights. It's funny how stuff.
You have to change the whole fixture or just the bulb?
Fixture. Wiring, buddy. Wiring. My father-in-law even laughed a little bit because I show up with. I didn't bring my whole toolbox, but I bring my Ziploc bag toolbox. It's my right.
Yeah, it's your travel bag.
It's the stuff. Here's what I know I'm gonna need. Maybe I gotta get some wire cutters, needle nose pliers, a Phillips head.
You bring a flathead, just
flathead. The volt.
The volt, yeah, the
voltage meter,
tester.
the volt checkage thing. That that. I'm trying to think what else, but and it's not. And I've changed tons of lights in my day, but you haven't done it in a while, right? And there's
now you just look because I've done stuff. I've changed light switches. I've put ceiling fans up without cutting the power off.
Have you now?
Yeah, yeah. It's not. You can't kill yourself, but it's not a pleasant feeling.
It's not a pleasant thing. Yeah.
No. But I was putting a dimmer switch on a fan at my son's apartment the other day. And when I'm telling you, I don't know why, maybe it's because I'm older. It's like I made him check 3 times that everything was. I said, okay, flip that other switch, see if it comes on.
Well, I do and then it's the light I changed in Thibodeau was on the barn. So I'm up on a ladder and trying to beat rain. It rained. Yeah, I felt
we got a lot of rain.
Man, I felt like I was in the Forrest Gump movie. And then it started raining, and it rained.
And it rained and rained and rained.
It rained for weeks, but every day it was pouring down rain. But so I'm So that's where I was. Sometimes I think there's a point in my life where what am I doing? I'm 8 feet, 8 feet, 9 feet in the air on a ladder.
Yeah.
Thunder I can hear rolling
Yep.
in.
Yep.
I've
Yep.
got the light fixture off.
Electricity, rain, lightning.
Well, now I turn the switch off, and that's why I'm not, unless it's sort of confusing. I'm not one of these. You got to go turn it off at the box. I know nobody says that. Turn the power off at the box. I'm like, no, just turn it off at the switch.
Right.
Okay,
Right. If you turn a switch off, you're typically okay.
turn it
The
off
only
at the
bad
switch.
thing is if you happen to touch those two wires together, they'll spark.
Mm,
Or like if you touch the hot wire with like a screwdriver and
Not when
make
you turn the
a
switch off.
connection. Well, maybe
No,
it's when
then it
I've had the
wasn't.
switch on.
You
Maybe
had
it's when I've had
something.
the switch on.
Yeah, no, no. When the switch is off, it's off. It has to be. But what I do is I turn the switch off, and then I take my volt checkage thing,
Make sure. Both
double check
checkage.
that bad boy, and then if I'm really not 100%, I will take both wires and just give them a little tap. Just see like, hey, am I get a
Yeah, you
spark?
see if you get a little spark, yeah. No spark, no juice.
So I'm 8 feet on a ladder, but it's firmly. I made sure the ladder's good. Ladder, and oh, by the way, I tried to explain this to my wife. You are safer on just a straight ladder leaning on a building than you are standing on just regular like a A-frame ladder. You just are. You
Yeah.
just your body weight
Right.
and everything.
Right. Your
But so
body weight's putting the pressure on the ladder and making it sturdy. And
I'm up in the air, sweat. I mean, my hand, like I'm having to wipe my hand, sweating, just drenched because it's so freaking hot. And when you ever do something when you're repairing something? So we changed that light on. I was actually my brother-in-law who was handy. He can wire stuff. He and I did it a few years ago. And when I say he and I mean he.
yeah, you're at the bottom of the ladder encouraging him.
I was,
Well, I got a screwdriver down there. Let me know.
exactly. I was participating. But I remembered, and it's when you get up there and you're standing up there, and I already got it off when I remembered. Oh yeah, he ran into this problem too. God,
Right. It's always when it's harder than you anticipated. And it's like, all right, this ought to take 10 minutes, and then you up there 20 minutes in. And
because it was a box. It was an original old box that the electric. I don't even know what you call them, but the circular box coming out of the side of coming out of the
yeah,
barn. And he was
junction
able.
box, I think they
Yeah,
call
he
it.
was able. He was able to do something to make it work. And as I'm up there trying to figure it out, I realized, oh man, this is the one that he had to try to figure out a way to. So now I got to try to, because I don't have the same type of fixture. I got to try to figure it out. I'm trying different screws. I'm in the house. And my dad, God love him, had 17 different junk, either drawers or buckets or whatever. I'm grabbing various size screws. I'm holding things together, trying to piecemeal, a way to get that bar that's supposed to fit across the box that you screw the light thing.
Yep.
You can tell I'm very I'm practically an electrician, Juan.
You're not licensed, but you could be just because you hadn't taken a test.
And then once I finally, after the 10th try, I try to find two screws that would actually fit, and I realized, I might have been doing something wrong. So I get it there, and I get it in, and I get ready to put the light on and realize I hadn't put the gasket on. And you don't really need the gasket.
But it could keep the moisture out.
I'm like, well, I am not, after I just fought this, I am not. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tear the gasket.
Squeeze it in.
I modified that gasket where I can
Hey.
wrap it around. That's right. Got that thing in there. But, and then,
to me, with electrical work, you always end up where it's like if you change on a light switch. Well, the screws that they had on the light switch were not the ones that went on there. And they're not going to work on the new light switch, which means now I got to go find some other screws that will actually work.
Right. And let's be honest, that ground wire, that's just for show. That's just for freaking show.
Hey, man, I bet your mom's house has a lot of outlets that don't even have a ground wire on it.
Oh, I'm sure they don't. It's a, it's a 55-year-old house.
Yeah. It hadn't burned down.
That's why, hey, look, Well, I mean, the old houses were made. It's but the thing is, and the wiring is great. It passes inspections and everything. But the old, it's not colored the same. It's So whenever, yeah, I can't. I got to be careful. I can't. So let's put it this way: my brother-in-law, who knows everything, does everything. He's the handyman. He's the guy who repairs stuff. He's
Hmm.
he's the guy. A couple of years ago, the dryer in the house, the clothes dryer was acting up, and I'm like, man, just order one, get it in my. He ordered a part and he fixed it. He fit. I was like, man, when you're repairing, when you're taking a clothes dryer apart and
It's
repairing the
probably a
thing,
heating element. I can fix a heating element on a dryer.
it was something with the barrel that was off. He changed some bolts. I don't know what he did. But anyway, when he works on the house, he has to call his friend who is, I don't know if he's legitimately an electrician. Here's a Bayou thing, y'all. Those of you that aren't from South Louisiana, there are different levels. You got an electrician, you got an insured and licensed electrician, and then you got that guy who's wired a bunch of houses.
Yeah, on the side.
Oh, look. Well, that's who he calls. He calls his buddy who's wired a lot of houses, and to talk him through. Like, all right, I'm looking at, and to his credit, I've been on the phone. I could hear both sides
Yeah.
of the conversation, and that dude, that
Well, it
dude.
does happen because the wires are different colors. I've lived in houses, probably this one here, where they basically don't have the light switch covers on when the contractor comes in to blow the paint on the new house when they're building it,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they just paint all the wires.
There you go.
And it's like they're all cheap beige.
Well, I got that thing, and my nephew, he's off of work. He came out. Hey, how you doing? So he used to help me a little bit. Handed me one of the new bulbs. I put it in there, and I hit test, and it would come on. It's hot. Like, and good. And then I tried, and I couldn't make it work. Like, what the heck? But I knew. Oh wait, I saw a light. The light came on. I know
Yeah.
I got this, and I could not get it worked out that night. And I was like, God. And so the next day I went back to try to and then I had the sensor because I had it
Mhm.
set. I want to set for just dusk to dawn, right? I
Yeah.
don't want the motion. Just would come on
Yeah.
at night, go up. And I'm standing again on a ladder, trying to read because it's not print. It's just it's like um, not pressed on there. It's like
It's
braille.
kind of engraved. Yeah, but you almost it's probably white on white.
Exactly. I'm 9 feet in the air, white on white, trying to read what.
Yeah, 1 point type.
And thankfully, I saw something and I went, this side faces down. And the only reason I could read it is because it was facing up. Huh. And I'm thinking, no way that this is the problem. That was the problem, man.
So
There
you
you
have
go.
to flip the whole.
No, I just had to
You
turn
just turn that thing off. All right.
just turn that thing over and work like a. There you go. Tap.
See, read the instructions, man.
Never.
It's a
I
man thing.
just, well, because the instructions confuse me.
Well, the
And
instructions are confusing, and they're in 17 different languages. And I get to step 3, and then when I'm looking for step 4, I got to flip through 40 other pages because the thing wrote, it flipped the pages, and now I'm in, like the Portuguese
or they put
instructions.
or they put steps in there that are just okay. That's not a necessary step. But you will get. I've been bit in the butt so many times with, again, not following.
Yeah.
I want to say every time I've ever put a barbecue pit together. Now that's not, I haven't done that 100 times, but I bet you in my life I've put together at least 10 barbecue pits, give or take. I mean, probably more than that, of both gas pits,
Mhm.
charcoal pits, right? I'll bet you 80% of the time when I put together a barbecue pit, I always skip a freaking step that I got to take
gotta
half
go
the
back
thing
full.
apart
Yeah.
later on, where it's, and that's when they ought to that's where the instructions ought to say, like, it ought to be bolded or whatever. I know you couillons are going to try to skip
Mhm.
this.
Yeah. My son has been buying furniture, and like he has this buys off of Amazon and stuff. Some assembly required. And he calls me to come help. In other words, he calls me to come do it.
I will help you do
Uh,
it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, the other day, it's like, okay, this side looks exactly alike. All right, no big deal. Well, then I'm 3 steps in, and I realize, okay, there's actually a left and a right to this thing because one of the holes is a 1/4 inch different than the other one. Now I got to take 10 screws off to be able to flip it.
Do not tighten until, and you're like, oh, crap, I'm gonna tighten.
Yeah, I
And you
know.
find out later, oh, that's why I didn't need to tighten it. Still needed to adjust that stuff. But yeah, you know, well, the other thing is, in fact, I can't see why why nobody's ever just come out and say, look, we're going to charge you $20 more for whatever it is we're selling you. But you know what? All the screws are going to be uniform. Right? I'd pay extra money for that. And you know what? We're going to give you a bucket of these things, and there's probably going to be 4 or 5 extra screws. So don't freak out. And don't have to sit there and wait, is that a 3 washer or a 5 washer?
Right, and you got to go hold it up against the cardboard, which may or may not be accurate. And while you're holding it up, 10 other screws are falling out.
That's what I'm saying. But they do it. They do it. What they do. I mean, sometimes you can go online, the videos. That's the greatest thing about YouTube to me is I had to reset the maintenance needed on my car the other day because they didn't reset it when I got stuff done. So it's just. But it's like, oh yeah, okay, turn it off, make sure it's on trip A. Like, and you would think like, there's no way this is going
That's
to
the
work.
weirdest thing in the world. To reset the oil thing on my Jeep, you basically have to click the ignition, not start it, click it twice, press the gas 3 times,
Yeah,
and then start it.
yeah. My car is.
What part of this?
I don't know. My car is. It has to be the odometer. You have to hit it. Apparently, I've got a trip A, trip B, and the regular.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be on trip A. You have to leave the trip thing pressed, start the car,
Yeah,
and
rub your
leave it.
tummy and pat your head.
Leave it. Yeah, leave it pressed until it cycles through, and don't take it off before it cycles through. Because I did that one time, and it went back to the same. It was like, it's like some engineers in Japan going, "We'll get them. We'll get them. We'll figure this out. Let's make these Americans crazy."
I don't know. I guess Friday I was off, and I went took Joey's car to get the oil changed. Pretty religious about that now.
Yeah, now that after you burn an engine
we
up,
burnt one a couple of years ago. But so you check it in, and they say, "Oh, do you have the free oil change?" And I said, "It's not free. I just paid for it already. Paid for it when I bought the car. Don't act like this crap's free." But so you're sitting there, and they, say, "Oh, it'll be about an hour and a half. That's fine. Whatever. I'll just go chill." And then they do the obligatory, "Hey, the cabin filter could be changed."
That is the go-to move. I've never brought
Dude,
my car in where they didn't want to change the cabin
right.
filter.
I've owned a lot of cars, some for a pretty long time. I've never in my life changed a cabin filter on a car. And I wasn't about to pay
Yeah.
them triple to do it. But then the funny thing, so when they're done and everything, and I'm checking out, so girl asked for my email, and it's like I think someone's like the little host, she does the intake form, and then she's the one who comes try to tell you, that you need the cabin air filter changed, and then you come back and check out with her, and then she tells me she's gonna send me a survey, customer service survey, and it's very important that I give her all 5s because if she doesn't, she's gonna get docked.
All of them.
And I wanted to say, if you wanted to ensure that you wasn't getting all 5s, you just did it.
Well, I just don't do them. Whenever somebody tells me that you got to give,
No.
you just please, whatever you do, give me all whatever. I just okay, and I just don't fill it out
No.
because
And
even
I
if
understand to a certain extent because who fills out surveys?
right.
People who want to trash them. But it's like, no, I'm not.
Here's the
doing
deal.
this.
I really didn't have a problem with anything until
Yeah.
you said that. Now I got a problem with it.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, oh, and well, yeah. I had it jotted down. It's funny you said that because it was Coke, and Coke is Minute Maid is a Coke
Mhm.
Coca Cola product. I don't took a picture. I was in a restaurant in Homa. It didn't matter where it was, but something just finally hit you. I go to get the soft drink fountain, and as I'm looking in, nobody ever has it, but if they have a sugar-free lemonade. I love that. I
Mhm.
like lemonade, but I don't like sugar. I can't sugar.
Yeah.
So, and I thought it was, but it wasn't. It was just a regular Minute Maid lemonade. But then I don't know why I had to I'm reading what it was. What's it say? It has that. So it's naturally and artificially flavored,
Yeah.
right?
We got it. We used a little bit of lemon in this artificial flavor.
Naturally and, but then underneath that it says contains 0% juice. It's like,
Yeah, ain't nothing natural about this.
hey, it just so exactly. No, I guess nobody reads the fine print. Hey, I'm gonna get me some lemonade. No, you're not, bro. You just got some.
Yeah, something to aid.
You got some acidic chemical they put in there. Tasty. Hey, don't get me wrong. It's naturally and artificially flavored. But
Yeah, you should ask. What's part's natural?
who I'm going to ask? Think I'm gonna ask that girl working at Big Mike's in Houma? No, she didn't.
Yeah, you got the water in it is probably naturally flavored water.
Yeah, I don't know. We did. I'm not gonna do a review. I like Big Mike's in Thibodeau. I like. I'll just put it that. I'll do a review that way. I like Big Mike's in Thibodeau. We had lunch at Big Mike's in Houma. But so yeah, we've put it off long enough, Juan. So I know the world really wants to know. So
did you watch?
I did. I watched. I watched the clips of the Biden interview
with our president,
George Snuffleupagus, ex-aide for Bill Clinton. He's as
like he was softballing it, but he at least asked. But
here's the deal:
questions out there.
George Snuffleupagus is the biggest hack in the world. He's pure, never changed. But that shows you how the world works. He's supposedly he's a ABC journalist and has covered for Biden and covered for every Democrat forever. And look, okay, here's
that to me, it's everything. Everybody's concerned because of his performance. Now, everybody ought to be concerned because of what his performance revealed in the debate, not because of how he did. And what the questions everybody ought to be asking is, hey, where were all you people?
Those of you that missed it, the debate was Saturday Night Live has never done anything as bizarre as the debate with Trump and Biden. It was just it was cringeworthy, incredible. Nobody could believe it. Then they did a follow-up. So the Biden folks decided they were going to do a follow-up interview with George Snuffleupagus, whatever.
Recorded in mid-afternoon, even though everybody, is questioning whether he can survive past 4 p.m.
And it was as controlled an interview as controlled can be. And it was there was zero gotcha, trick you up kind of questions.
It was, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, when he asked Biden if he had gone back and watched the interview.
Seems to be a relatively
reasonable question.
Now the people that
not the
Biden,
interview, the if he had gone back and watched the debate,
the people who prepped Biden and gave him notes and did whatever they didn't think, hey, maybe George will ask him, did you go back and watch your own debate? Right. So he wasn't prepared for that answer.
Right. And his response was, I don't think so. No.
I don't think so.
All right. Well,
I don't
would have been satisfactory. Yes, would have been satisfactory.
Well, and the interesting thing, many interesting things about that interview was that it was for the most hardcore of the hardcore, they are reliant on the Biden regime for their titles and careers and to keep them out of jail, by the way. That's the other thing. That's why so many family members are so incredibly interested in keeping him in, because you got pardon power. That's also the thing, is if he resigns, not just like I'm not going to run, but if they 25th Amendment the guy, he doesn't have the authority to pardon.
Right. And then, Hunter's got cases, pending. So if those happen,
he's apparently a big consultant now, man.
Dude, he's the man. He's running the country.
is apparently in. So, but here's the thing. And this is why I'm telling you, journalism and networks, they're trash. They're trash. They're liars and crooks and criminals, but they're always going to be liars. Don't believe anybody. They're all lying. The same people who 10 minutes ago were calling you a liar or a cheap
Right.
fake or
Right.
whatever for noticing the obvious, right? Immediately, all of them are coming out now trying to be the one to write the article or make the commentary to get him to resign.
Right. And I've heard that on one of the news where it's, everybody's competing. They want to be the one to break the story that's going to push them over the edge.
And they're all pretending or wanting
Mm-hmm.
you to believe that. Okay, look, that's a pretty good litmus test, right? Are you a fool? Okay, here's how you know you're a fool. If you're listening to these people now pretending that this is all new, that they cannot believe,
Right.
that this happened. Okay, if you believe that, okay, you're the fool. That's the litmus test because
Well, I sent this to you yesterday or Friday. A friend of mine who's a great person, she's leans liberal, um, very liberal, but posted something, and it wasn't her original thing, but it was, why is all the right wing media focusing on Biden's debate performance and totally ignoring Trump's conviction?
criminality.
Yeah, and like, dude, that's all. The left wing media had done nothing but talk about him with the trials for 12 months.
But the funny thing is, if you actually, and again, look here's the deal. We've talked about this. I'm okay for people. You can have your opinion.
Right.
You can hate some. You shouldn't. I mean, I don't hate anybody. I get annoyed. I hate a lot of the media. I got to say that. Hate's a strong word, but because you get tired of being lied to, and then being called all kinds of things for calling somebody on a lie, right? It's like
Right.
but you have to agree on a fact.
Right. You can have that's the whole thing. You can have your own opinion.
This is the case. That's the thing with Trump, with people, so many people that I'm like, hey, I get it. If you can't stand him, fine. If you want to break laws to keep him off, whatever, okay, admit
and
that.
Look, we all say they all lie, they all exaggerate. In my mind, on the debate, most of the things that Trump says that are false are just braggadocious. Yeah, I had the best economy in the world ever. All right, so what?
Look, if you're going to have a contest over which politician lies the most, oh man, you're going to be hitting pause.
Yeah,
when you're reviewing these things a lot. So there are a lot of lies, half truths, exaggerations.
Well, this
whatever.
is one that in the interview with Stephanopoulos, Biden threw in a new wrinkle as to why he did bad in the debate, because he said even though the mics were muted, Trump yelled the entire time that Biden was trying to answer. And what I wanted was Stephanopoulos to just lean in and said, hey, it was a split screen almost the whole time. We saw Trump the whole time when you were answering.
Oh, so Biden said Trump was yelling?
Yeah.
I see. I guess I didn't watch enough of the interview. Yeah.
Yeah, he was harassing him while he was trying to answer.
Okay. Well, so there you are. The other funny thing is, I love, and there are politicians coming out with this too. When will Trump take a competency test? So how does that work? You see two guys on stage. One has his faculties.
Yeah.
You can, and it's obvious, has a sense of humor, is paying attention. You may like or dislike, you may believe or don't believe, but so one guy, you honestly are wondering if he knows what is happening in that moment. Like, do you realize that what this is going? Do you realize this is televised and this is you're actually okay? You have serious doubts about that, but then they all scream that the other guy needs a
right. Well, yeah.
The other guy needs a test.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nancy Pelosi. I don't know if you in the Stephanopoulos interview, he asked him multiple times if he would take a mental competency test.
Okay.
And his response was a standard, I pass that test every day that I'm running the country. And he says, but will you let an independent physician conduct a test and you transparently release the results? Why would I do that? I do that every day. And he blew it off about 5 times. So there you go.
Well, and we can see where the lies come from, because your boy Gavin Newsom and Mr. Hairdo apparently today said that he will not run in an open because that's the thing,
open convention or whatever they call it.
The fact he said it means that's what he's going to do. There's something else going.
Well, the thing is, he can't run just so with Kamala because they're both from California.
True. Yeah, there are going to be some interesting times, y'all.
Yeah, nobody wants. It's a very select group that would like Kamala to be the candidate.
Hey, man.
But did you read when he was in Wisconsin or wherever, Biden did 2 radio interviews, and the campaign management sent them the questions before.
Yes.
Right before we came on, I read that one of the radio hosts who first told CNN that she had gotten the questions, she's gone. They fired her.
Fired her. Yeah. How dare you?
Yeah.
So it's not an interview. Just don't call it an interview.
All right, because they both of the interviews had the same questions.
Yeah, it's not an interview. If you send me what I can ask, but look, it's been going on for years. I mean,
trust me, that's not the first time that's happened, but still.
Yeah,
it's
been caught along the way.
Yeah.
They send them out with pictures. A picture of the reporter and what order they're supposed to call the reporter and the question the reporter's going to ask them. Yeah, it's okay. I think the fair thing, some people call for it. I just want to know who's running stuff, who's it, right? Because we know it's not this guy.
Yeah,
we know it's not
him. He's good between 10 and 4, and he's got to take a nap. So,
all right.
What about all those other times of the day?
I don't know.
Don't you just run that commercial that Hillary used to run? Who do you want answering the phone at 3 a.m.?
Mm-hmm. Well, somebody's going to answer it. Just tell me who it is.
Yeah, exactly.
That's that
person run.
What are you running on, man? Because everything's great. That should be the argument. Everything's hunky dory, fantastic. Things have never been better in this country or the world. So you guys don't worry about who's running stuff. But that's the thing. So we'll see. I don't know. I thought it was going to come to a head this past week, but we'll see. I don't know what.
Yeah, the longer, I don't know, because to me, the longer it goes, the harder it is.
All I can say, I was reading stuff that says Joe Biden she's blowing up at people, and she's getting fed up with people trying to,
kill her power.
They circle the wagons, and but I'll tell you something. If I'm in that inner circle, I'm hiring some food tasters. I mean, hey, the next thing is, I wouldn't line up for that regular Adderall.
Get some advice from the Clintons.
Yeah, whatever that regular cocktail they're shooting you up with, bro. I'd bring in somebody I trusted on that. 100%. Yeah, get it in there. Well, I'll tell you what, bro. I gotta go watch.
You gotta go.
I'm getting text right now. Y'all ready for the storm?
Yeah.
Apparently.
Here's what I want to remind you of, though, Dave, because tomorrow I'm going to be worried all day. So I want to make sure that you post Dave is safe from a hurricane on Facebook. I need that.
I don't know that I'm a check-in. I don't know if I'm a check-in safe kind of guy, but we'll see. I may do it for you, Juan. Hopefully we're safe. Hey, man.
Yeah.
We're making
if
light
not,
of
dude,
it.
It's been a fun 3 years.
We're making light of it, but a cat 1 hurricane, cat 2, whatever it's going to be, it's not fun.
No.
It just but we'll see what happens. All right, we're going to push the button. Get on out of here. See if any of this stuff stuck to tape and we were able to get it uploaded before Beryl comes through Texas here. If you want to reach us, not that hard to find. It's Dave and Juan at protonmeal.com.
Right here, but keep your complaints to yourself.
The complaint was we took too. Okay, see, I was worried that we spent too much time talking about the debate.
Dude, I thought we talked about it straight out the chute.
I thought we did, but I don't know. You know, apparently not fast enough. We didn't get to the meat of the debate fast enough for that person. But that's gay. God bless America and you too, whoever you are. Hey, every week, not a suggestion, hint, subtle implication, y'all. It's a freaking mandate.
A freaking mandate.
Look, man,
Dave's going to be riding through a hurricane tomorrow, and he's going to have the best week ever.
Man, we're going to try. Get out there, live your best life, whatever it is you're doing. You might be seeing some record heat or near record heat. You may be in a hurricane. You may be, I don't know.
Could be caught up on the Weather Channel.
All that stuff. Whatever it is, y'all. Good days, bad day. Get on with it. Get on with it. Take your shots, y'all. Take your shots. Live your best life. We're going to do the same, and hopefully I won't have too many. Hopefully my stories next week are not too interesting on the Hurricane one.
Right. Let's hope that window behind you or whatever is still intact.
My next door neighbor, my man that I did that minor repair on that siding, he never had it. He never did better than what I got. So my luck, the board I fixed for him is going to come through that window. And you know what? That'll be topic 1 next time if that's the case.
That's it.
All right. But until then, everybody, have a fantastic one. Hope to see you next week. Love you, bro.
Back at you, man. Yeah, I've talked about my mother-in-law before. Yeah, her level of talkativeness. Sweet lady. Good grandmother. But Joey was talking to her the other day. Joey was driving home or something, and so I was off, so I was doing laundry, and of course I had a question. So I had to call. And she was trying to, Joey was trying to just do, you get those automated messages where it just said, hey, I'll call you right back.
Yeah.
And she was just trying to do that. But apparently she put her mom on hold and answered the question or answered my call. So she got on the phone and I said, all right, just real quick, blah, blah, blah. She said, all right, well, hurry because my mom's on hold. So, probably 40 seconds later, she flips back to her mom, never stopped talking. Never knew she had, and she, like I said, she's talking on Bluetooth in the car, so there's background noise. You put it on mute, that suddenly goes away. Just never missed a beat.
Perfect.
Yeah, Joe just said, yeah.
But when you realize a lot of times, this isn't a conversation. I'm an audience.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. And a wanted audience. So it's like, go ahead. She's got some stuff to say. She doesn't really care about what you're saying.
That's not important. I just need somebody to hear this.
Yeah.
That's
over
funny.
and over and over again.
It's over. Go home.